Welcome back. Our guests are truly interesting people, but they are making a mark in the industries in which they have chosen to be different, what we call controversial. But today we are in the house now on the panel with our in-house psychotherapist, Sia Alexander Brume. So I'm going to go back and join them, and let's actually iron this thing out. Are they really controversial, or we are the controversial ones that are labeling them? Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Kosi, just for effect. It's for real.
Always been real.
This one, you buy them?
Oh, joint.
Oh, joint.
It was, I paid for it, it's mine.
So I just wonder though, Sia, after listening to all their stories, how do you unravel these characters? Are they controversial people?
Yes, they're clearly controversial in the way that they express their individuality. They are outside of the norm, very far outside of the norm, especially here in Nigeria. And I think that in itself is a major controversy.
Mm-hmm. So she says you guys are controversial.
Controversial.
Yeah, that's the American.
That's okay.
That's the American. What do you think, Emmy? What do you think about controversial to be or not to be? Is it a good thing to be?
Controversial basically depends on whom you ask what controversial is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, the generality of Nigerians, I mean, controversial is when everybody's wearing black and you're wearing white. It's just as simple as that.
Uh-huh. But in some cases, it could also be a function of going against the norm. For example, Kosi has no qualms about showing her boobs. And then there's a society that we say,
that's lovely.
yes. So even if it is...
I support you.
Then they say you're a bad girl.
No, she's bad, like
Bad.
beautiful and different.
No. Oh, that's what bad is, beautiful and different.
Thank you. I'm bad.
Just like mad, they say I'm mad, making a difference. M-A-D.
What does Amy say?
What do I say?
Yeah.
I mean, I've said what I mean, because basically in Nigeria, we have this pretentious, hypocritical nature about us, and that's what it is. I mean, everybody goes to church on Sunday, does hallelujah.
Do you all go to church on Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Kosi, you go to church?
I don't really go all the time.
But
I
you
don't
go
go.
sometimes. You don't go at all?
I haven't gone in 15 years.
Is that intentional?
It is intentional because I believe that, you know, in Igbo we have what is said, Okadinobi, which means that the church is right inside you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I believe in that, and I believe I know what the Ten Commandments says.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think the facts of life are very simple. It's been laid out for us in the Bible. I can read the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need a pastor telling me what is written in the Bible.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I can speak English, I can write English, and I speak more English and understand more English than most of the pastors. So why would I sit over there for someone to tell me what I know?
So are controversial people cynical people? Sia?
Well, I think...
Because I hear cynicism, maybe because of all hypocrisy. This man says, Okadinobi, my church is in my heart.
And what you do is important. The way you treat people, are you rude to them? Do you treat them good? If you don't steal from them, you know, these are right there. So if you're following these facts, you know, if you're following this path as laid out in the Bible, I think you will sooner go to heaven than these people who go to church every day and break every single of these rules.
Sorry, don't do No, but you were going to talk about,
I an issue, you know, the church thing. That was the day I went to church. You know, I had this altar neck, very long, as in covered, well covered. There was no space at the back, so I went to the front to sit down. And then this lady now came up to me and like, oh, sorry, what you're wearing. But no part of my body was showing. I should go another place, you know. So when I left, some ladies were now clapping for her. And I know if I go back to that church, I might start looking out to see the woman's husband or whatever. You know, it was really annoying. So because all this...
Maybe because they knew you, so they were a bit worried about
But it was well covered. So because all these bad ladies and all that, I just try not to go all the time.
I wanted Sia to respond to, is there any cynicism in someone when they are, you know, is it that they're trying to stick out intentionally or what?
Well, I think this particular group represents a counterculture. Nigeria is so rigid, is so strict. I think these individuals want to sort of break out of that box, and they clearly have done so in the way that they project themselves. But I also think it's important to, when you break outside of a box, to not lose your perspective, to keep some sort of balance, to not then go to the other extreme. Just because the environment around us is very rigid and very conservative, you can still make a statement without kind of making a parody of yourself. You don't want to become a laughing stock, because then you defeat the purpose of standing out. You want to stand out in a way that inspires people to be themselves. You don't want to alienate people by being so extreme that no one can relate to you.
So we should watch out for alienation.
Yes, and extremism. It's important to go home at the end of the day and ask yourself, who am I? And who do I want to be? And I think it's important that you have young followers, 6-year-olds, they're gonna look at you. Who do you want to be to them? Who do you want them to see you as? It's very important. Not to say that you can't be yourself, but be yourself within a balanced, healthy, constructive way. Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should start with Nigerian. What are your comments around that? You know, being yourself and being a role model.
I think it boils down to self-realization and self-actualization. Because, you know, the journey to self, as they say, expressing your individuality, it just lies within you. A lot of people would, you know, attack my brand and my identity and say,
I like that it's a brand.
Yes, it's a brand. It's an identity. Because, I say this to people, you sow a thought, you reap an act. You sow an act, you reap a talent. You sow a talent, you reap a character. You sow a character, you reap an identity. Identity brand. So now, people look at it and say, oh, you're doing all of this just to arrest attention. You want people to talk about you. You want to be in the news all the time. I don't read the news. I make the news. I realized that like long time ago. So, I've lived it that way. But I know myself. I go back home and, like I said, my fan base, I wouldn't even call them my family. You know, we call them our family. People who talk to us on social media, you have the ones, of course, that do not understand what you're doing. But then somehow, they're like confused admirers. Because they like you, but they feel like they can't do what you're doing. And it's so annoying. And then somebody else is bold enough to go out there, do it, get all the recognition.
Do you agree that they are confused admirers?
Yes.
Who are your biggest admirers, the guys or the girls?
The guys.
Kosi. Wow. I don't think the guys they're very clear about it. They admire you.
It might be some of the girls. They don't have what you have. They don't have the guts.
No, she says she's melon. What is this one? We're on the same level. Have you always been melons from childhood? I just wonder.
No. They were very small. There's this thing I saw online. No matter the problem you have now, don't give up. Little things start small. Because Jericho was born with just nipple, and it came out big. So don't give up.
It was a
That's
Twitter
okay.
rat.
Okay, so they can still grow. Yeah. So, do you believe, I wouldn't say technically, you know, for example, my brother here is not controversial because of character. It's because he chooses to speak out. He chooses to stand and be different and don't care what anybody says. Am I right? Yes. So it's not because, if you look at Emmy, he looks like altogether one nice gentleman, you know. He's designing fine clothes. You should give me one of these for my husband, by the way. Yeah, is it done? For free. And then there's this young one who's just coming into the world. Do you worry about the kind of example you're giving to that 6-year-old? Like she says, we should keep our different personality within a particular perspective.
Well, most 6-year-olds will be like, I love the way Beverly dances. And then my main fans or my family are women.
So your fans are your family?
Family.
Yes, married women.
Yes.
They call me and they pray for me. They're like, I know you're 21.
You said they're sorry for you?
They pray for me.
And they say, sorry for you.
And they say, I know you're 21, but I love the way you behave. Because even if I behave myself and I act right, I still go back and I read my Bible. I know what I'm about. So, people just pick the bad ones, the ones that is not accepted in the society from me. And that's what they base on. They don't remember the time I was reading the Bible. I'm not reading it for them. I'm reading it for myself, but they don't see that part. They don't see that part. They don't see the part when I'm helping somebody.
So you want to be a role model?
Everybody wants to be a role model. For me to be out,
She's a role model. You're a role model.
Pretty.
Okay, is this pretty that is the model? Like you, what would you describe yourself as a role model? Yeah, you're a role model, right?
I'm an outspoken African woman. So it to actually help and encourage others to actually speak up about anything that's affecting them. And then,
But you know, some women will be afraid of you. You can go and steal their husband with your...
No. Oh, I'm very different. If I know a woman, I can never even talk to the husband. Never. I don't.
You will
I have
report the man.
I have lots of admirers. I don't lack when it comes to. So why would I want to steal yours when there are lots of men out there?
Go coffee, baby. Oh, yeah, now. Hey.
So I'm wondering if, because I mean, we really must begin to round up now. What I see as last thoughts on this and our last thoughts on this from these people.
Well, I would say that I congratulate you all in your courage to be yourselves. But once again, I would suggest that you continue to check in with your inner self and know that you're not necessarily trying to gain attention at any cost, that you are aspiring to a higher vision, to maybe be of service, to uplift people, to use your position to actually help build up Nigeria, because Nigeria has a lot of problems, a lot of issues that people in your position could be of service to. So don't spend too much time on your physical appearance and your, superficial reality. Try and use your position to make a statement about what needs to be done here in Nigeria.
Changes you need to see.
Exactly.
I think I see a lot of, that's what these people are doing really, seriously speaking, isn't it? Seriously. So seriously.